Hey, welcome to TokuTalkers. Today we're talking Ultraman Omega Episode 11, Kamen Rider Zeztz Episode 3, and GoZyuger 31. I'm one of your fantastic hosts, Buster. With me is my other fantastic co-host, Wyatt.
Woo!
And yeah, we're gonna talk about some tokusatsu. Alright.
Yeah.
First up, Omega Episode 11. I know last episode we kind of had a crash out, or at least I had a crash
Right.
out about
That's
the
true.
show. Where it's like, ah man, I'm not really feeling it. And then this episode kind of is like, okay, it's pretty generic two-parter setup where it's like, oh, we got a big monster to fight. So
Right.
yeah,
Yeah, yeah. It's kind of there's a couple episodes of Ultraman that I've seen that have been similar to this as far as like, oh, this monster takes multiple episodes to defeat. But it is nice to have like an episode with some stakes,
yeah,
because
like
until then it really has just felt like the plot and the monster fight have had almost nothing to do with one another,
yeah,
or
they
you know
actually feel interconnected, even if even if it's pretty generic the way they're interconnected.
yeah, the fact that it's like still it's trying to go like above what we have gotten for like 4 or 5 episodes definitely puts it on like the upper end of stuff that we've seen from the show.
Yeah,
The new monster is pretty cool.
yeah,
That's
Graham.
yeah, that's like a pretty cool looking new monster with all the like the wires and everything coming out of its head. And then like yeah, it's nice to like I think we're probably close to halfway through the show at this point, so it's because they're usually like 26 episodes or
Yeah,
25 episodes or
25.
whatever.
Yeah,
So it's good to like yeah, it's good to have like a nice escalation in like threats here. Again, it is kind of weird that it has been a very slice of life show. I know like Ultraman isn't like it might not be as like plot driven as something
yeah,
like
it's
a
very
Kamen Rider.
episodic, but it's like, yeah, it's not really like slice of life. It's more like monster of the week, concept of the
Yeah,
week type beat. So it's
yeah.
a bit like it's a bit of
Mhm.
departure to go from like it's episodic in a like, oh, there's a monster or sci-fi concept we have to deal with, to episodic to like it's like a slice of life show with
Right, they're
like
just
a
like,
monster.
oh, here's these two guys hanging out at their job. It is a cozy show in a lot of ways, but
Yeah,
like I said,
it
there's
needed a bit more. It needs a bit more meat, and
yeah, a bit more
yeah,
spice, and I feel like this at least it brings some to the table. Um, it still wasn't like I still was like, we're cranking this up to 1.5 times speed, like while I was watching it. Also
yeah,
because like I needed to watch, like I woke up kind of late and I thought that
yeah.
I
We
had to like
both woke
watch
up
more
late
episodes.
today to record this.
Yeah.
So
So I kind of had to rush through it a bit, but I still did enjoy like the episode overall.
yeah.
Like it was a lot better than the previous episodes, which like I couldn't tell you for $1,000,000. I guess the last one was like the documentary episode, but that was
Yeah,
about
and that was
all I can
like kind
remember.
of yeah, it's a documentary, but it's not really like spiced up. Like it wasn't really like as interesting as like other Ultraman
Yeah, it was like
documentary
kind of
episodes.
funny, It was like kind of
Uh,
mildly funny.
yeah,
I guess like the cast is so small and the characters are so like like the two
yeah,
main
Kosei and
guys
Totoro.
are like pretty well characterized, but they are like a little bit two-dimensional. And then
Yeah,
like the scientist lady whose name is leaving me, even though I've watched
Ayumi.
11
She
episodes.
has
Yes.
she has not done
Yeah,
much,
she's kind of a
sadly.
nothing character, unfortunately. So,
Yeah.
you know, um, it
Yeah,
is
just
how it is.
Omega
But
is pretty average. Doesn't really go
yeah,
above average right now, so
yeah,
it
slightly.
serves
Yeah,
the
I would say
job.
it's above average for Omega. Like they definitely like
Yeah.
just because it is going for like a more action packed, like, oh crap, we can't even, next episode we got to get some kind of power up or some kind of like emotional, like the growth is on the horizon. There's going to be some kind
Yeah.
of conclusion that would be a little bit more exciting. So I'm looking forward to that. It's not like I at least know that the next episode is going to have something in it. It might totally drop the ball, obviously, but it's
Yeah.
more interesting than being like, okay, what even
There's
is the
actual
next episode
setup.
going to be?
There's
Yeah.
actual setup, like, to, like, "Oh, I'm slightly interested to see what's next." Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
But
Yeah. So,
that's Omega. Let's just move on to GoZuger.
right. Yeah. Yeah.
I am Toretto, will to save the world, episode 31. This was
Mm,
basically what you expect when you hear Ryugi goes back to the team.
yeah. We
Like,
talked about last episode that it was kind of weird that they introduced this whole new character and kind of like
yeah.
he was a one and done character, which is
Yeah.
fine, but
Yeah,
it was just
they
like a
had a
little
good
weird.
message with it as beautiful detours, as they put it. So I think it
Yeah,
works because they contextualize it as this is just a beautiful detour, as like the entire show. Like people have been saying, "Oh, Gozoja kind of aimless," but it's kind of like it kind of just does. I don't really think of it as aimless. It's just kind of
yeah,
more like concept driven than character story. I know people really want the battle royale stuff to be more prevalent, and I'm like, I get that, and we do still get like shines of that here and there. But I'm
yeah.
enjoying the characters. I'm enjoying the competitions every episode. That like I don't really like.
Mm,
If it's good at what it's trying to do, then I don't really care of like what it should be, quote unquote.
yeah. This wasn't as good as the stuff with like Genba in the previous series, as far as like Hero kind of leaves the team or has his own like
Oh yeah.
quest thing going on.
That was like an entire that was like multiple episodes. This was only like 3
Yeah,
episodes, so it's like it kind
yeah,
of felt a
exactly.
little half-assed, but like I like Ryugi enough and the little revelations that come with it are solid enough that I'm like it's fine,
Yeah,
I'm
yeah.
more
Apparently
interested in
he's
like next episode because of like
yeah.
the setup like kind of like Omega.
Right, yeah, no, yeah, and I think that this was a good conclusion to like that character of like him kind of like reaffirming his like role, not only his faith but his role as a hero and everything.
Yeah.
Uh like that's also like very important to him. And the monster, it was more of just like a guy to beat. There wasn't really like the like number one
So
battle angle was like
yeah.
really doesn't
It
exist.
was only like for
Uh
like 2 minutes at most in this
yeah.
20-minute episode.
And then and for the most part it was like, oh crap, Ray shows up and is, he
Finally,
has the
Sumino finally connects the dots, so that's really
yeah.
interesting.
And then like that leads into the cliffhanger for the next episode because she figures out that like not only is there's the guy with the gray eyes, but also he has some connection to Rikuo. So things are seemingly gonna pop off a little bit in the next episode, so that's
Yeah.
pretty cool. Um
I'm interested to see where it goes.
yeah.
It just kind of like the Gozuger thing, where the first part of the arc is really interesting, and then the second part's kind of like what you expect.
Yeah,
Um,
just wrapping things up for the most part. I think that
yeah,
they still had like some good emotional highs, but yeah,
yeah,
like I said, it's kind of is a little bit boring to have, again, the premise sort of sidelined where like the number one doctor, really, we
yeah.
just don't even like tap into that
Yeah.
really cool
I
monster
do like the
design,
joke.
but
Cool about design. I do like the joke where like Horu's at the doctor because he ate like expired food. That was really
right,
funny.
yeah. And then so like two of the Rangers are captured, and then this like Mashiro comes and saves them. And it just made me realize, like, I know I always complain about him every single episode, but it just keeps on being true that he is just like, I don't know, he just like comes in, pretends to be part of the plot or like relevant to it. Really, what he was doing there was sort of like giving them a convenient out, being saved and everything. Like him
Yeah.
being, like at first I was like, oh crap, like these two are in trouble. Two of the other guys, like they're getting their ass kicked, and then like Ryugi, like he's off the team, and then when like he shows up and saves them, I'm like, oh yeah, I guess he can just show up and save them. But he has just been such a like,
Deus Ex Machina.
yeah, Deus Ex Machina. It feels that way because he's so disconnected to like the cast and the characters that it just sort of
Yeah.
it doesn't have any like punch when he shows up and does anything, and like
Yeah. Like
he just feels like
I
such
need
a
like
third limb, like a weird like
yeah.
part of the
It's
show.
I feel like there's like I still like Mashiro. I still like him. I just feel
Yeah,
like they need to like contextualize him more, his role in the show more in future episode. Uh, but like, because right now it's like, oh, they justified him at first, but now we're in this like middle half where he's just kind of like bumming around until like the plot says they need him again. So
yeah, and that can just happen with Six Rangers, unfortunately.
Yeah,
Where
I had that problem
sometimes,
with Bluesky.
yeah, oh yeah, definitely. Like I think that they did a good job, like keeping him relevant for like that second arc, but that was definitely like the weakest part of the show, in my opinion. Was like, yeah, I don't know, just with the villain wasn't very interesting during that part of the show. His like
Yeah.
and what's his face, the actual Purple Ranger, like wasn't like he was like kind of interesting at first, but then when he became a good guy, um,
Yeah, he did. He
you know,
wasn't even that chaotic, like compared to like how they were
yeah,
hyping him up. Like at first, I don't know. But Moonger's it's still a good show. It's just that part was like one of the weaker parts. Um, yeah,
is there
I
an
mean,
example of like a Six Ranger, like just real quick, like a side tangent? Is there an
yeah.
example of a Six Ranger that you feel they like come in, really impact the story very heavily, and really like not dominate the story going forward, but they're like an integral part? Because I have a couple examples in my head, and I'm wondering if we
Uh,
maybe have the
Maybe
same example.
Zenkaiger. Zenkaiger's very episodic, but I still feel like Two Kaiser gets a lot to do, and they
Yeah,
really explore his relationship with like Kaito and shit.
Go
And I thought,
Busters, I think, is my example of like one of the best ones that they've done, where like he comes in, kind of warps the fabric of the show, but doesn't like completely like, I don't know. He doesn't take too much of the air out of the room regarding like the main heroes. He just slots in
yeah.
really well, like him
Yeah,
and
that's kind of my thing with
Douchebag.
Zenkaiser too, where it's like Two Kaiser just slots in like very naturally. Maybe because he shows up very early in the show, but
Mm,
like,
yeah,
I just feel that like, I think Don Brothers kind of did some interesting stuff with their six, in like terms of like, oh, this is a fifth. This he's like intentionally supposed to be a six wheel to the team.
yeah. Like he is a there. It's a little bit more meta,
Yeah.
and that makes sense. But
I
yeah,
like I like Dodra Goku a lot,
mm,
but I know there, a lot of people had issues. But like I personally thought that character was handled really well for
yeah.
the context of that story.
I'll say before we move on, I'm excited about the next episode, but I'm also sad because
Oh yeah,
it's about
the
a divorce
divorce.
between,
Uh,
Shining Knife and Sweet Cake. So
how do
I
you
hope things
divorce
work
when you
out for
share
them.
a body? That's what I'm
Yeah,
curious. Like,
that's what makes it way funnier.
yeah, it's
It's like
like
it's
that.
such as they already are such a nonsensical character design in a really fun way, but then taking it to this degree, it's like, oh, that is
That's
such a
really
funny plot
funny.
point. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, get out. It's no time for jokes. It's Common Under Zets time. Episode 3, A Road, or Case 3.
Mm,
I like this quite. It's a it's kind of like we're wrapping up a lot of arcs this week, or like starting
mhm.
arcs. And this is basically the end of the first 3 episodes. No opening sequence still, which was a bit
Yeah, that's
weird, but
very
it's
weird.
like, yeah. Um, it is what it is, but like I am pretty interested to see where Zets goes. Basically, this is like end of tutorial where it's like, okay, this is what happens with the nightmares. We see
Uh,
Zets fight in the real world, like he can transform in the real world. I do. There's some really good There's some really good like acting, like just subtle acting, like in terms of both dialogue and just facial expressions.
mhm.
Um, and the big one that came to me is like the way he says "I'm on it" in a different way compared to the dream.
Yeah.
Like, because that's really interesting. That's I like it because he says he can understand English and us speak it more naturally in the dream, but he says it a bit
Mhm.
more stilted in reality. I think
Yeah.
that's really charming, and I think that adds a lot
Yeah,
to the flavor of the show.
I really love the moment where he, like, tries to fight the monster, and then he, like, knocks him away. It's like, "This is real life, this isn't the dream." And then he's, like, desperately struggling to, like, get to the belt and
Yeah,
everything, like a panicked normal guy. Because and it just makes you think, like, "Oh, yeah, the reason why he's so cool and slick in the dreams is because he's a dream. Like he's able to, like
yeah,
he's a lucid dreamer. He can kind of control himself a lot better because he knows that he's in a dream. But in reality, he is kind of like a fuck
just
up,
a
a
regular
goofball.
guy. Yeah,
Yeah, so that's really well done. I feel like
and
this episode was kind of crazy, like the scope or the escalation it gets to. Like, and I'm assuming like every nightmare will kind of get to this point where like, oh, and then they're entering into the real world. It's kind of like the like in Wizard people
Yeah.
falling into despair. It
And
happens
then you gotta
every
go to the despair world. Yeah.
yeah.
Um, there's that, and I also do appreciate how like the fighting in the real world is the choreography is much different because you have
Mm,
like in the dream world like Zeztz is doing all these crazy maneuvers. Well,
mm,
like in the real world, it's more grounded and it's like he just has to rely on the existing powers he has
yeah.
instead of like using the environment, which I think that's very interesting that they're
Yeah,
playing with
very
that.
smart. Yeah, that I
Yeah,
wouldn't have like that's like an obvious thing that makes total sense, but it's just something that I wouldn't have even thought about, like that there's such a difference between the two. Because I was just thinking that all of the fights would always be in the dream world. Maybe later on they would like be taken to the real world. Maybe
yeah,
it would have like a an Act Two style twist like that, like kind of like how Saber or 01 had, where like
yeah.
the dynamic of the villains change.
I can
Like
see that happening because Takahashi did wrote 01, Geats, and X8. He loves his
yeah,
first act twists.
yes.
Um,
I expected like them coming to the real world to be that, so it's kind of crazy that it like escalated to that point, and just like all the people at night, like seeing the nightmare like break out and like seeing the video
yeah,
screens on the TVs change and everything, it just gave it this very like, oh, like this is something they can't avoid now,
yeah.
or hide away.
Which makes
And
sense given how like the victim of the week, what's his name? Fujimi? Tetsuya
yes,
Fujimi? Yeah,
yeah,
Tetsuya
yeah,
Fujimi. Yeah, I got his name, yeah. Fujimi. Like he is part of like the people investigating this, so it's natural like, oh, like if like his dream or like one of his dreams is like to like crack it wide open, and by
mm,
defeating his bad dream they're able to like at least start getting like everyone else to be like, this is an actual issue we got to start solving and look into.
mm,
So yeah, that's a pretty I do find, I hope we get more like like natural side character plots like this, or like
yeah,
basically characters that have already been announced for the show who
mm,
are gonna be a part of like the like or who are gonna have nightmares within themselves. Like I hope the like just because I feel like that's a very fun way to build your world, instead of just doing
yeah,
one-off characters that like.
mm,
I mean, I don't mind one-off characters. I just feel like I like the extra spice of like, oh, I know this character, or this is a
yeah.
reoccurring character.
That was something that was a little disappointing about Gav, is that I liked a lot of those like one-off characters in the first arc, and really they don't show up again. Like a lot of those, like the guy in the construction site, and like that kid, like he shows up one more
Yeah,
time, like in the
and like the
recap
weird,
episode.
yeah, the weird
Yeah,
recap episode that ties into the movie we haven't seen.
yeah, yeah. But yeah, so I hope like a lot of these characters are like this means that they're more of a mainstay. I was thinking that like the setup with the from the beginning, like with Fujimi and what's her face Lobo from
Yeah,
Geats. Uh
I think Nasuka. Yeah, Nasuka.
yeah. It was very similar to the beginning of 01 with Ames and everything
Yeah,
with
with like
where
Fua and Yua.
yes. So but they're not like they are not heroes. They are just
Yeah,
like it is more of that X Files, Mulder and Scully thing of like. So I hope
yeah.
that that dynamic sticks around. I hope that this character isn't kind of like sidelined and just like, all right, the first arc is done, so whatever. Who cares
I mean,
about
the
this guy
next
anymore?
episode is gonna be a bit wackier. Like we're going into like
Yeah,
someone else's dream, but like I do hope they still like reoccur like throughout
mm,
these next few episodes, being like, hey, we're still here. We're still like
yeah.
looking into the black cases.
And all the Yu Yu Takahashi shows have like a weird girl in it. Like they have
Yeah.
like there's like Poppy and X-Aid, and then
That's
like
Nem. That's Nem in the
yeah.
show. Yeah,
Yeah, and then what's her face, the robot helper
Sarumi
girl, and
and Geets, but like the Izu and 01. Yeah,
yeah, like they have like that kind of weird girl who's connected to the plot like deeper than you think at first.
yeah,
Um, so it's like yeah, Nem is that. So and yeah, I liked her role in this episode where Baku is like put in jail, and then her whole thing is that she plays the role,
like each
very.
dream.
Yeah, she like stays in the role no matter what. She doesn't try to break kayfabe, but like in that moment, like just how desperate the situation is. She's like breaks the rules just for this one moment, to help him get out so that he can help. Uh, yeah, I like how dire things get, but it also makes me think like maybe they're going a little bit too hard too quickly. But it could also be a calculated thing of like, this is our chance to like get people really invested in the show early on, because they're going for that like international appeal. So I'm interested to
Yeah.
see how it all plays out rather than being like overly concerned or worried about it being exactly like how I imagine a Common Rider show should be or paced or whatever. I'm just kind of like
Like
at this
I
point,
just
like
like to go with the vibes. I don't really like to be
yeah,
like, "There's a Common show has to be this way." It's like go with the vibes, man. Just like
yeah, that is
what
how
you're
I'm
laying
feeling.
down. Do you like it?
Mm,
And I like
mm.
it. You know.
Yeah, it's been really cool so far. Um, and like, yeah, the fight is cool. The tone, I've really liked the tone. The monsters, like both of them so far, have been
Yeah.
really cool and really menacing in like a
I
fun
do
way.
like how Bomb's personality shifts when he goes to the real world. He's more of like a generic Kamen Rider monster, where it's
Yeah.
like in the dream world, he's more like this like menacing, like just like I kind of like that shift of personality, being like, oh, you're in reality now. You're when where Kamen Rider fights normally take place, so now it's a bit
Yeah, and
more
it feels
basic.
like since he feels like he won, he has like
Yeah,
less to less of an
prove.
aura to like
Yeah,
exude. He's just like, whatever, you humans, get out of here. So yeah, that's like a cool element. But
yeah.
very much big thumbs up. I like Zet so far. I haven't been like, whoa, blown away, like this is amazing or anything yet, but like I've really enjoyed the first three
It's fun to watch
episodes.
week to week. It's fun to watch week to week.
Mhm.
It's just fun to pop on an episode on YouTube, being like, all right, what do we got?
Yeah. Yeah, it's nice to not have to hook up my laptop to the TV to watch it on the TV. Like I can just be like, put on YouTube on my smart TV and watch it that
Yeah.
way. So
I actually I have a funny story. So like, you know how they have the loop?
yeah, yeah.
I when I watched this episode, I immediately I went to the episode, I clicked it, I was expecting to scroll back, and I was like at the start of the next loop. So it was like,
Oh
oh,
yeah.
the timing.
You're like, aha, my ninja matrix powers kicked in.
Yeah. Bro, the universal timing is crazy. Anyway, yeah, that's good. Gozuger's solid. Omega, but
Yeah. Yeah.
I mean, it's a very chill week for Toku. Where it's like I feel like where it's like we're seeing the natural end or beginning of things.
Mm.
Um. So yeah. Um. I guess that's all we have to talk
Yeah.
about.
Yeah, yeah. I don't know
Well,
if
what?
there's
Yeah.
anything else really
No
that
breaking news or anything. So yeah. Wyatt, plug your stuff.
all right, go on over to Twitter and Blue Sky, Wasp Ranger, WACP Ranger. It's mostly stream of consciousness stuff, but I do talk about podcasts I'm doing or videos I'm making. As far as videos I'm making, I am finishing up a rewatch of Beast Machines. So
Oh.
I might finally get around to doing my big Beast Wars / Beast Machines video I've wanted to do for a few years now. Um,
Yeah.
so because I also rewatched Beast Wars recently and that was on my mind, but I was like, no. I feel like I can't write the script to that until I finished Beast Machines again. So look forward to that. Probably sometime next year I'll get to that. Um, so follow my channel, whatever. I might finally get around to finishing my video on Earth Spark season 1 also. So if you
Man,
want a bunch of
real Transformers.
Transformers
Yeah,
episode,
real Transformers
yeah,
brain.
because I started that last year and then I got kind of distracted with some stuff and then like during this year I was more focused on like the Stugo video was like the main thing and then like offshoots of that were like the Primus video beforehand, which I was gonna say was like more popular, but actually they're like about as popular because Stugo got to a certain point and then like when it was released on Disney Plus, I got it like doubled the viewership of that video, which is very nice. That people were like searching it and talking about it a lot more and commenting on it. There was a lot less trolls on it, which was very nice. Those
Yeah.
guys were super annoying. Um, but yeah, so check out my channel. It's only magic. Want to support me? $3. You can get videos early. The podcast, Cartoon Buffoons, you can get that a week early. This week is what is it? The pilot episode just went up. Pilot's 9. And then next week is Ben 10 Alien Force, like that's going up for free. And then Flapjack will be on the Patreon. So there you go. That's all my stuff. How about you, Buster?
I am working on videos again at the Buster Corp channel. Got some exciting stuff planned. I actually just released a little short video I did for a video essay dream collaboration on Kamen Rider
Mm-hmm.
Zeztz. Hey, we talked about that show, but I went a bit more
Yeah,
artsy
cool.
fartsy, like quick, like with that video. So if you want to check that out, check it out. I also have a video on Taro Man coming up. I'm very excited about that. I have it. It's mostly done. I'm waiting for on a couple things.
Mm-hmm.
And then I'm also a Bluesky yapping about whatever. I like reposting a lot. I should repost
Mm-hmm.
a lot of funny things. So if you want to be like, hey, what does Buster interested in? Just go on my Bluesky and you'll find it.
Yeah.
That's gonna do it for this. Also, just make sure to subscribe to Modular Media. We got all sorts of podcasts like Modular Components and
Mm-hmm.
Analytical Fanboys coming up. Oh, Wyatt's not on those. Occasionally he's on Components, but I really got to
Yeah,
get
yeah.
back on Components eventually.
Yeah, whenever you
But
want, just hit me up.
yeah,
We'll figure it out.
yeah. But yeah, that's gonna do it for this week of Toku Talkers. We'll see you next week for I don't know more Toku talking.
Yeah.